pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we can remain standing and remember our men and women in the armed forces, and also two local folks, Dolores Jennings and Ezel Jackson, both good people. Thank you. I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session, which will go around the corner, and you're all welcome to stay here. But what I want to do first is recognize the town supervisor and the town councilman, Bob Livesey and Joe DeWitt. Jeez, I'm sorry. I know your name. You'll see. It happens. It'll happen to you.
It's been happening.
But what I want to know, Bob, did you want to address the board on any issue? I don't want you to have to wait.
Not at all.
Okay, then wait. Can I have a motion to go into executive? Motion by Gary, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jim, and it's for employee history, employees' particular history. I will come out and come back into the regular meeting, but then immediately ask for another executive session meeting on Article 14, Civil Service Law. I've been advised that that's how I should do it.
That's correct.
So I appreciate the advice. And so I have a motion, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, let's go in around the corner there. And there's going to be another wait, but let's take care of this right now. So may I have a motion to come out of executive session and back into regular meeting?
Make a motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Melanie, may I, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll make a motion that John Jones go back to his previous position. He has to take a test.
Did we go into open session?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
in open session.
I am.
Discussion?
Let-
Discussion.
I didn't finish my motion yet. Make the motion that he goes back to his position, same salary. He's provisional, he has to take a test. If he doesn't take the test or pass it, he's out. But we need to have leadership at DPW. That's my motion.
I would, if this is in order, I have two attorneys now tonight. If I'm in order, I would like to, and if I'm not, tell me, I would like to refer to the labor attorney for additional information. That was a very fluid motion.
Yeah.
I understand I know what he's saying, but I think we want something a little more in a capsule here. Can you try to give it to us?
Yes, let me try. So I think what trustee Howard is motioning is to appoint John Jones provisionally to the position of DPW superintendent, subject to modification of that job description in a form to be acceptable for the village approved by Orange County Civil Service. And then I think probably there'd be some subsequent action. He mentioned the previous salary, so motion would be to set the salary for that position with the provisional appointment, ultimately with the provisional appointment being subject to modification of the civil service job description as would be approved by Orange County Civil Service based on the needs of the village.
Gina and I will just add something. I know that's a lot, and I'm sure you didn't get it all, but you and I, if this passes, will have to work with the county to include some additional verbiage on responsibilities of the provisional appointment for street superintendent. I think the county will go...
Public Works
For superintendent, and I believe the county will go along with us on the requests that we'll talk about.
And
All right.
would there be a date, a number of provisional, a time frame?
Probably make the appointment, you're saying effective
We can make it effective December the 8th, which is the beginning of the new pay period, which is this week. Thank God.
You need to name the provisional.
Well, it'd be a 52-week it'd be a provisional appointment subject to the exam.
Yeah, it's almost until the county has an exam, which they don't, it could take a year,
Right,
and it probably will.
yes.
Okay.
So if I could, can I speak now? I'd like to explain to the public what's going on.
Point of order, we just
Okay.
need a second first, right?
So-
Let me have a second and then
Second,
discussion.
then you can ask for
Yeah,
discussion.
let me have a second. We have a motion by Brian. Right,
We need a second.
Okay, I'll second the motion as outlined
Discussion.
by trustee Howard and the
Okay.
labor attorney.
So here's the facts. For the past 4.5 years, we've had one employee holding a dual position that he is not allowed to have in civil service, okay? He's getting 2 incomes, 2 positions, and we, as a village board, has been lying to civil service office by not reporting it. We've been reporting this employee to be getting 1 income for 1 position. It's a falsification of a document. It's the filing of a false document. It's criminal,
Those are
okay?
allegations that are.
It is, it's been submitted to the district attorney.
That may or may not be true.
Okay,
And I will put that
that's the
on the record.
allegation. So about 2 months ago, after I discovered that this was happening, I went to civil service and I asked them to actually request another certified payroll from the village. And this time, we actually had to document in there that this employee was having 2 incomes from 2 positions. And when they received that, they gave us a notice of violation. Okay? So they sent us a notice of violation saying, this cannot be. And because of that, we took the position, second position away from this employee. For the past 4 months, in order to get ahead of this, so that we are not in the predicament that we're in now, we opened a position called the DPW supervisor position / foreman. Layman terms, we call it foreman. There were 3 applicants, okay? Our number 1 choice backed out after 3 months because people on this board decided to block this position from happening, okay? So our second option was one of our very own employees. He applied, he was vetted by civil service, we interviewed him. And then we added, 1 month ago, when I made a motion to hire him, 2 of the board members here abstained and said, well, wait. Let's see if he passes a water license certification, and then maybe. This employee, he's sitting here right now, went and studied this butt off to pass it. 30% of first-time test takers for this grade 2A water license failed the exam. He passed it. It's a 500 question exam. It's a 2-week course. He stayed, he passed it. Now he's back here saying, okay, I passed it, okay? Now will you vote me in? He's sitting right here. But instead of doing that, we're trying to put the same person that we just removed from that position because we were violating civil service law. We have a violation notice from civil service saying exactly that, okay? Now we're trying to put him back in there for a 6-figure salary to be a superintendent, which is a purely administrative position, okay? Now what we're saying is that, okay, well, let's modify the position. Just get him in there. Let's modify it, okay, so that, you know, he can do some labor and be superintendent with a 6-figure salary. He's our friend. Let's do that for him. Well, it's wrong, okay? It's wrong. What we need is a working supervisor at half the cost of that. A DPW supervisor is going to be on probation. It's going to be a 52-week probation. Let's hope that he can step up, just like he stepped up by passing this grade 2A water license.
I just want to make a comment. I would be very careful about the characterization of lying, unlawful, blocking. You are a member of this board, and it is not becoming to accuse your fellow board members of devious motives, etc., especially to the public with perhaps unfounded allegations of unlawful behavior. So I would just be very cautious, not just to you, Trustee Guerrero, but also to all the board members. You may very well have your disagreements, but when you step up on that podium and you address your public, the people who hired you and put you up there to denigrate others who were also elected to their positions, and to perhaps, without careful thought of the consequences, allege unlawful activity, that would be for a court to decide.
So
And that's
all the
all I'm
facts-
going to say.
Thank you, Elise.
Thank you.
Okay, so all of these facts need to be given to the public. So that is for the public.
I would
to-
just say
Thank you,
that it's
Elise.
not
Okay,
necessarily a
you know, we had
factual
a-
statement.
Yeah.
Why are you cutting her off?
Why are
Let
you
her
cutting me
speak.
off? Yes, okay. I understand what you're trying to do, Elise, okay, but the public has a right to know. There's a lot of things that have been happening that I've been trying to tell the public about, and the public has known, okay? There are many things that have been publicized, not by me, but other things. So I appreciate your concern for me, okay, but the notice of violation is real, okay? Civil Service issued that to us after they were made aware of what was happening. And now we are promoting a culture of favors for friends. It shouldn't be that way, right? It's what's good for the community, what we need at the most efficient way possible. And we should really vote with the public in mind.
None to that.
Okay. I have a second, I had a first, I had a second, I had discussion. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Guerrero,
No.
Trustee Alward.
Yes.
Trustee DeSalvo.
Yes.
Trustee Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor Denine.
Yes, motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss.
I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the civil service laws. Yes,
I'm sorry, I just want clarification on the appointment
yeah.
for the salary.
The salary is exactly the same.
As before.
You're adding the stipend into the wage he was getting before.
Right.
So one salary though, there's not gonna be a stipend, one
If we,
salary.
I didn't make the motion, but I seconded it. If we can verify with civil service that if we can pay him like we were paying him before, which I think, from what I understand from my conversations, the pay wasn't the issue, it was the classification issue. So if, I would say if we can verify that it was, we pay him like we did before, because there are positions where you can get a stipend.
Okay.
So
I have I have a motion to, can I have the motion again?
motion to go into executives.
May I have a second? To, do- I'm sorry to interrupt. Article 14.
Article 14.
Okay.
Civil Service.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Are we making
Yes.
all
Yes.
these people wait again?
Well, but I have no choice. I have no choice. I have no choice.
Contract has
What we're talking about is, over the last many months, there have been PBA, Police Department contracts negotiations, because they had expired, full-time police, part-time police, and dispatching units, so 3 separate ones. And they've come to an agreement, the negotiators for the village and the PBA negotiators. The PBA took it to their membership a day or two ago to ratify the contract. They did ratify the contract. They could have voted no, but they voted yes. And now, per the contract, this particular date, December 5th, was when we have to ratify, or not. And if we don't, we just go back to the drawing board a little bit and try to work things out, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Although
so
for the
we,
record, I would just note that the police commissioner and I, as serving as the negotiators, recommend the agreement to the board.
I understand. And the reason for tonight also was we just received the MOAs on Thursday. Now, that means I was here, so I did receive mine physically, but some of the members didn't get it until over the weekend. So we really haven't, I don't know how much time they've all had to look at it. Hopefully they have, and that's what we're going to discuss now, and come back and vote on it up or down.
But Joe?
Yes.
Can I just to shorten
Yes.
the time? I think you have the 3 votes here, regardless of whether we go to executive session or not, just like, why are we prolonging the inevitable?
Well, there was an important, do I call it a clause?
Wait a minute, time out.
It has to be a yes or a no vote.
You're conducting the executive session in public.
Okay, I have a motion to go into executive session, and I have a second.
You had a second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, let's go into second.
All right.
I'm not used to these. Some of my friends watch it.
Okay, may I have a motion to come out of executive and back into our regular meeting?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much. All right. First on the agenda is to approve bills and claims in the amount of $1,192,598.42. And just, to explain a little bit, that's kind of a high amount. 666,000 is for the construction down in Ondeora Park. We have 88,000 engineering. We have 67,000 to Section 8, which is a reimbursement. New York State employee retirement, 116. New York State Police and Fire retirement, 174. So it adds up, these large amounts, this particular pay period. May I have a motion to pay bills?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Joe, I have a question on that.
Yes.
I'm just going,
Want me to second it first?
Second, if there's, discussion.
okay, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to,
No, I understand.
I'm just looking at the, right here for reimbursement for Pablo. Okay, I see a total of $794.30. Okay, when we were looking at it, he did not give me paperwork, or excuse me, did not send Gina paperwork yet for the reimbursement for the tolls, because he gets them through his Easy Gas per statement per month. But looking at it with him with the breakdown, I came up with a total of $972.67. So, because of the total of the food was $352.67, and then the gas reimbursement was 62.5 cents. Supposed to be, which would have been a total of $620, and the food broke down to like $25.19 a day for 3 squares. It's pretty decent rate for that. But I came up with a total of $972.67.
okay.
So, and then I see $794.30.
Do you have all, you think you have everything?
So, well, I had what Mr. Polito sent me on there.
What's your figure?
The one that you're saying.
So what?
I made a video just to do the miles before I left
No, I know you did,
and when I came back.
yeah.
So that's the
Where's
miles.
where's the discrepancy, on the mileage or on the food or what? On the mileage, okay.
The discrepancy was you went to class away from your hotel, you told me, right?
Yes, it's like
And then you
15
came
minutes.
back.
Yeah, every day I have to drive.
Yes.
But there were some detours there also,
Oh,
because
yes,
we got
because,
hit
yes.
with the snowstorm up there also.
Yes.
So that was on the mileage.
All right, then I would recommend, unless you want to do another way, recommend these bills be paid at, you're saying it should be more.
There should be more for the mileage,
Okay, so
correct?
let's approve what's here. And then, Jerry, you work with the village clerk and see if the mileage is wrong. If it's wrong and we owe them $25, $45, whatever the number is, it'll be at our next meeting as a bill. Can you, is that okay with
I
you?
thought I presented enough already, but it's all right.
I'm not asking you to present anymore.
Oh,
I'm asking, we need to recheck the figures.
okay.
And if it comes out that you're owed more, $20, $50, $70, it'll be on the bills the next meeting. That's the only thing, that's what I can do.
And I'll sit down with Mrs. Taylor on that.
Did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
It's in the bills, it was reviewed, and there's a note on the bills as to what we were paying and why. And if the board felt there was a discrepancy, they should come and see us and we could correct that.
Okay.
Right now, we calculated mileage like we calculate everybody who travels, and that is on, whatever the MapQuest says is the distance from here to there and back. That's it. We don't count driving all around while you're there or going back and forth. When you come to work, you don't get mileage to come to work every day. And it was 7 miles, I think, he had to travel from hotel to the place. We did not include that. We only included what Google Maps said is from here to there and back.
The reason that I went
So-
to Albany, it was to go to the class. I didn't went to work. I went to the class. Therefore, I have to get to the class. How am I going to get to the class if I don't drive?
It's okay. Please, if everyone agrees, unless you come up with a better way, let's approve these bills. You're going to get a check. If you're owed more within a day or two, we're going to look at it.
Listen, I did these 2 weeks for the benefit of the village. It's not being recognized. $40, $50 is not going to make me rich. So whatever you guys want.
No, I didn't say that.
We're-
I can't come up with a figure tonight,
Yeah,
unless you want me to have everybody wait. Let's go downstairs with a calculator. You have his bills? I mean, you don't want me to do that, do you?
It's all right, no?
Okay, let's approve the bills and then we'll go over it at the next
Okay.
meeting.
Say $40, $50 is not.
May I have a motion to approve the bills?
You got that.
I have it.
Yes.
Did I have a second?
Yeah.
And then
May
I think we're still in discussion, so,
Okay.
you know, all I would remind the people who were watching last night and who's gonna read up on this in the paper and on the minutes, we have been borrowing money at an astonishing speed after the dissolution vote came out, okay? We have more than doubled our debt. In the next week, or maybe 2, we're gonna get issued another $2.4 million in a bond for the sewer stormwater project. 2.4. And another close to 4 million in the spring for the water project that's supposed to follow. We haven't even paid in full debt that we borrowed 20 years ago. 20 years ago. We have just refinanced it a second time. Okay? So there it is. And here we are, you know, we're not trying to cut back. We're not trying to cut back on the spending. We're trying to hire friends for 6-figure salaries. Okay? So people, I hope you're listening because there's an election coming up.
No, I'm not done. As a municipality, we need to do infrastructure. We need to make sure that we have safe water. This is a very old structure. We either repair it now, or it gets worse, and then we repair it. We do snow plowing, we make sure we have good water, we have to do work on the dams, and we have a deteriorating infrastructure. Our job is to do that.
I have a motion, I think I'm trying to get I'm trying to get the bills paid, I think. I don't even know where I'm at.
You have a motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have-
any further discussion,
okay,
then you call the question.
Okay, so I have a motion, I have a second, we've had discussion. All in favor of paying the bills and claims, aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is to approve minutes. We have one regular meeting on November the 21st, 2022. If I could have a motion. Motion, was everyone there, Gina, at that? Yeah, okay, good. I have a motion with Brian, is there a second? May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jim, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is a request for training for full-time police officer Frank Lillis. The breath analysis operator training course.
Take your card.
It's January 23, 24, 25 in the year 2023 coming up from 8 to 1600 in Middletown, New York. May I have a motion per the chief's request for Mr. Lillis to go to this class?
Motion.
Motion by Jim, seconded by Brian. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Next, I have a recommendation from the village clerk, a memo to adjust the salary of the crossing guard and traffic enforcement officer. So that's Mr. Baker on Mountain Avenue and Mr. Wojciechowski on Main Street doing the meters. The minimum wage for New York State outside New York City is set to $14.20 to the end of this year, December 31. The current hourly wages of the traffic enforcement officer and street crossing guard are below. By law, these positions should be brought up to a minimum wage. It is recommended that the hourly wage for traffic enforcement officer and street crossing guard be raised to $15 an hour effective this Thursday, December the 8th, 2022.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Who says we can't get along? Okay. Here's one we all should agree on. Imagine this, we wouldn't, let's cancel the second meeting in December. It's getting really close to the holidays. So that would be the cancellation of our next meeting, December the 19th, 2022. Unless you all want to get together just before Christmas.
The only thing is that January 2nd is a public holiday because it falls on a Monday, which is how New Year is celebrated. So that means we cancel 19th and we cancel the 2nd?
January 2, Gina?
Well, you usually move it to the Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. We'll move it to the 3rd. We could do that tonight. I'm sorry, what is January 2?
Monday.
But it's
Public
a,
holiday.
it's a public holiday. Okay, so being our next meeting after we cancel the 19th of December is January 2, 2023, and that's a holiday. Let's move it to Tuesday, January 3, 2023, 7 p.m. up here, everything's the same.
So moved. Or were you making the motion?
Oh,
Did you make
no, well, I was hoping that we would move it the week after,
Oh,
instead of a Tuesday, the Monday after the 2nd, which will make it the 9th.
okay, I didn't know that's what you wanted. We can do that. We can do that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be a pain. Just that the town televises on the 2nd and 4th.
That's true, too.
So my only suggestion would be if we can wait, unless something comes up, you want to do the 16th and the 30th? 16th and the 30th, so that we're not conflicting with the 2nd and the 4th.
It's a holiday season.
So we would do the
Yeah,
3rd and the 5th.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, 16th Martin Luther King Day, right? Well, we have that meeting day anyway, so it would be the 17th and the 30th. I'm sorry, it wasn't all about, but I'm just making a suggestion.
Is that
Does
okay?
anyone have an issue with the 9th?
I don't.
Are you okay with the 9th?
I'm okay with the 9th.
Okay. Look, I'm trying to do things right. It gets a little chaotic up here. So I think, do I have a motion? Huh? Do I have anything on paper?
So we have a motion to cancel December 19th.
All right, can I have a motion that we also cancel January 2, 2023, and hold our meeting, our regular monthly meeting, the first meeting of the month, on the 9th of January, 2023?
Motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Just so the board knows we'll have a back-to-back. I don't care that we will, I'm just saying it'll be the 2nd and the 3rd Monday. I don't know if that's okay, you know what I mean?
We'll have things to talk about.
That's fine.
Gina, I just want Gina to
We
be
normally meet
okay.
on the 1st and 3rd Mondays.
Tell me what the issue is, Gina.
No, who's the motion? And who's the second? on
Melanie and Jim.
Melanie and me,
Yeah.
which is
Jim was the
odd in
second.
itself.
Okay.
And it's to have the meeting on January 9th. May I, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, before we go to public comment, I would like to apprise the board that today I sent you Verizon resolutions to review for the DPW site. I sent you a seeker determination for your review, as well as a proposed Monroe balancing test to exempt the town from the village zoning. So I would recommend that you review those and that you discuss them at the January 9th meeting.
It'll be on the agenda.
Okay, and they should be posted on the website.
Already on the website.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, we did this here. Okay, the 19th, we did. I want the public to know that the draft comp plan, we will have a meeting on Thursday, the 12th of January at 6 p.m. at the Senior Center to review and to have public input. This is on the village website. There's going to be changes, so don't get excited if you see something you don't like. It could be something that we're in the process of changing, but definitely come to the meeting and tell us what it is, and we'll tell you where that item, what we're doing about it. But again, this is a very important document. I hope a lot of folks come. Okay? All right. I'm just going to give some brief comments and then I'll get the public. I want to, the board wants to, it's, of course the board, it's not just me. We want to congratulate, of course, the O'Neill High School football Class C champions. You know? Not a easy task, of course. They know it better than I do. They did have they did play a good team, and they won. And they did extremely well. And by doing extremely well, and by winning, even if you hadn't won, you did extremely well. You're still winners, but you did win. You highlighted our community. And I just love when this community is highlighted. So you had a great send-off parade. It was a great send-off parade. And I want to congratulate all the players and the coaches. It takes a lot of work. So that's what we say to the champions. I want to say to the two ladies, Dee and Sally Dorsch, who decorated Main Street. You saw the Grinch from one end of Main Street to the other. You saw the Art Alliance down here in an empty storefront. I've lived here all my life, I have never seen Memorial Park decorated the way it is today, the way it was this past weekend. I thought maybe, I met with these ladies very often, I thought they were chewing off more than they could handle, but they proved me wrong. They're amazing women. It's unbelievable. So you bought, even though the holidays, i.e. Christmas, isn't here yet, the Christmas magic is here. I can only imagine little kids, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, driving with their parents by Memorial Park and seeing everything that's down there. And you two ladies, along with elves, of course, you guys did the work. Actually, Dee had the vision, Sally was her sidekick, and then there were elves. There's always elves around that have to help. But you brought back the C, the capital C in community. That's what you two ladies did. And this community needs it. So we thank all that participated. And it's not over yet, because in a little less than 2 weeks is the holiday parade. West Point has agreed to put the band in, which is a big hit. We're trying to get the football players, if they don't have something else to do that night. We already have about 5 to 6 floats. Of course, Santa will be in the parade, and it will start at Thayer Gate and go to Memorial Park, where Santa will also be, and everyone can sit on their lap and tell Santa what they want. So these two ladies, unbelievable, unbelievable. Toy drive is going on downstairs. I've been doing it for like 30 years. These toys go to folks that maybe need some help, okay? The Holland Falls sign that's been down for many months down by the ambulance corps has been ordered. Everything takes time. Christmas lights have been worked on, they're all not on. It seems like when it rains, some of them don't come on. We have to look at that and get better at the connections. I mentioned the comp plan. Sales tax, the third quarter, last year, almost 374,000. This year, almost 405,000. So I guess people are back shopping, which is good.
Well,
All right. And that's it from me. I'm sorry that the meeting took the beginning there was a little rough. I'm going to take public comment and I'm going to let the board speak.
Oh, don't we
Huh? Do
vote
you-
on the
What didn't I do?
police?
Oh,
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
on paper. Wow. Okay, so you all have the 3 MOAs, the full-time police department, the part-timers, and the full-time dispatchers. We've read them, we've discussed it. When you have contracts, I'm sure there's both sides aren't 100% happy with everything, but Brian Howard and our labor attorney, Brian Goldberger, negotiated for the village, and the other side had who they had, and I think the best came out that could. Negotiations are very hard. So this would be a time to approve all 3 at the same time,
Well, we can
or
do it-
individually?
You can do it a couple different ways. If you want to approve them as a block, you can do that, and I'd suggest the motion to be to approve the 3, the full-time police, part-time police dispatcher agreement, and authorize the mayor to execute a collective bargaining agreement incorporating the terms of the MOAs in a form acceptable to council for the vote.
I'll make the motion as outlined by the labor attorney.
Second.
Discussion?
Now, let's
Discussion.
Okay. So I just, we went to an executive session, and even before that, I had sat down with Mr. Goldberger about it. We received the MOA on Thursday, and by the time we had received it, it was already ratified by the PBA, you know, as a starting point for where we should go on this. I think I had expressed that I did not agree with the process that we went through because the board was really blind to everything that was on this MOA up until Thursday. At the negotiation table was Brian as a police commissioner and Brian Goldberger as a labor attorney. And we had to do it that way because of events that happened a couple of years ago when it was a mess, when one particular trustee made all kinds of promises without the board really being aware of it. So in any event, we're here now, and now we have an MOA that still has, and from my point of view, which is why I'm going to vote no on it, some problems. One of the biggest things in this MOA is that non-sergeants will be paid sergeant pay if they are the OIC for the shift. And I think that's a responsibility and a paycheck that should really be for sergeants only. It's earned by sergeants. They work hard to get there. They had to pass a lot of tests to get there. And if you make an OIC somebody who's, for example, on probation, or is a non-sergeant, but because he's the highest ranking on the shift or the OIC for the shift, he gets to get paid with the same responsibilities and the same paycheck as a sergeant. But I agree, the rest of the MOA looked good to me. I mean, it was a 2.75 increase across the board. There's a 13% differential if you're a sergeant compared to a step 6 base pay. There's a 4% differential for a detective, and there's another 2.5%, I think, for longevity in addition. So a lot of those details, I think, are very, very reasonable.
We have 2 officers who took the sergeant's test. It's not going to be given back to us until March. Our attorney has said that we need to have some semblance of someone who has authority on that shift. January, February, March. When we get the data back from the county about the 2 young officers who took the sergeant's test, one of our goals is to place a sergeant on that shift. The county moves slowly.
All right, question to the clerk, do you have the way the labor attorney worded the motion?
I will.
Okay, you will, okay, thank you. Where am I?
You need a motion and a,
Okay, need a,
I think you have a motion, you have a second, you just had some discussion.
okay. Roll call.
trustee Guerrero,
No.
trustee Alward,
Yes.
trustee DeSalvo.
Yes.
Trustee Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Comment, trustee Guerrero is correct in the shift coverage where there's no sergeant. The money will be spent there in those lines. Brian Howard is correct in that we hope to be able to fill that issue with a sergeant, which will still leave other monies to be spent for that reason. If a sergeant takes off, whoever the senior officer will get that sergeant's pay. So that will not be erased. So there still will be a cost, but if we hire another sergeant, that certainly will lower the cost, even with the sergeant's pay. I will vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Anyone have anything? Go ahead. Go ahead. You.
I'm shorter.
Go ahead, you want to go home, I know.
have to
First of
come
all,
up here.
I'm not here for that, but we are the #1 safest town in the Hudson Valley. And we're #2 safest town in the state of New York. So I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know about what their benefits they get from it, but our village is benefiting from you. I didn't know
And
this was
Bobby,
gonna happen, so I didn't come back.
I have actually heard, you are correct, and I've heard you say that to many people, and I thank you for saying that to many people.
Well, all of our people coming here, that is, I'm not saying it's the #1 reason, but it's an important reason, because they're
Thank you.
leaving places that were Highland Falls, that became like many other places that are going down, but we're rising up, and I'm just saying, all you guys too are helping, I'm sure.
Thank
What
you.
I came for is, I'm looking for information about the cell tower. So, the people I'm speaking to, there's a lot of concern because, and what I'm gonna say is from lack of knowledge, but people are wondering, are we going to have a meeting about where the cell tower is being placed? And when it will be done, and is there going to be a public meeting for questions and answers? People ask me a lot of different things, and I'm not too bright about anything, but that I'm totally non-knowledgeable about.
Bobby,
But there's been resolutions where Verizon has got a lot of wave testing done, whether it's environmental or health-wise, and the length of the area, like I'm talking only from what I'm hearing, because we haven't been public about it. So we would like to know, like, has distance, the safe distance been waived? And has what was needed shortened? We have people working there. Is there any?
let me ask you, I need to ask you a question. Are you referring to the cell tower at the town highway garage?
I am.
Okay, so I thought maybe you were, and so that's the town, not us. And Elise, what else can we say about that?
Well, I would just note that any resolutions have, or any documents that have been presented to the village board or the town board for that matter, by Verizon are on the website and have been on the website. All discussions have been public, at least at the village board. So I would refer you to the village website for all of that documentation. We did have a presentation by the independent radio frequency expert that the village hired.
That's the only one I knew that was going down.
Yeah, but, well, there have been others, but, and there will be a discussion on January 9th. Those resolutions and all supporting documentation are on the website, so.
But Elise, if I'm right, what, everything you just said that's on the village website, the January 9th meeting is about,
The DPW website, or the DPW Verizon site.
okay.
The town Verizon
Okay.
site, yes.
Don't they have to do some of this also?
Well, they've requested exemption from the village zoning law under the Monroe balancing test. And that is something that this board would consider, and this board would also close the environmental analysis prior to making that decision. And then the town would actually contract with Verizon to put up, it's not really a tower, it's like a 65-foot pole at the DPW site.
So the website is Highland Falls, New York .gov, or is it the town of Highlands?
.org, I
.org.
think. It's the
Or
village
town.
website, or they may also have them posted on the town
And
website.
so all the resolutions have been posted, because I couldn't find it, but am I looking in the wrong place?
You would look on the village's website under Regina Documents, is it?
Right, on the village update, right in the middle of the homepage. There's also a small box on the webpage that says TOH cell tower.
Okay,
And if you click in the box, documents are all in there.
okay, I couldn't find anything, all right.
You'll find it, you'll find it
find
now.
it.
Thank you.
This lawyer, she had mentioned something to you earlier about the cell phone. She said, would you have her repeat what she had said to you earlier regarding the cell phone tower?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean just now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so
prior to Bobby speaking.
what I said was that I had sent the board a seeker analysis, a determination for the environmental review. That I sent to this board for their review. It is also on the website. It's proposed. It has not been acted upon. Also, a resolution identifying the Monroe balancing test, and that's also for discussion. If this board agrees with the recommendation, then you would pass that resolution. If not, you would not. That is also on the website.
Okay, so I'm gonna get up.
You don't have to get up, Sharon.
No, no.
Sharon.
No, I wanna get up. So, one of my questions is that the cell phone tower was proposed for the same site like 10 years ago and it was shut down. Do any of you recall that? You do? What was the reason why it was shut down at that location? Yeah, the town garage. It was supposed to be a cell phone tower put up there 10 years ago and it was shut down. Do any of you recall why it was shut down?
Tell us.
It was shut down because the effect on the human body is detrimental. And it's been proven that cancer has been spread anywhere from 1,600 feet to 3,400 feet. So there are people that are going to be working right underneath this cell phone. And there's also people that live in the area that it's going to be affecting their health. So I don't know how much money that Verizon is offering the town to put up these cell towers, but I propose that it is not nearly worth having people's health put in danger. Also, it's an effect on people's property value. People are selling their homes left and right in New York because of our taxes. And I, for one, was born here in Island Falls, don't want to move, struggling to hold on to my house. But I'll be damned if I want to have a cell tower put up there and leave my house to my grandchildren only to have them come down with cancer and my future generations be put in danger. And so I ask that whatever these resolutions are that you have had between the town and the village, that it be made public as to what studies were done, because there's all kinds of evidence for the past 20 years about the health issues involved with cell towers and cell phones. And it's been out there. People are putting their head in the sand, and you know, if you want a cell tower, well, you should put it in your neighborhood, and then see how you like it then. You know, you want your cell phones to work faster, you want to download your movies faster, it's not worth your health. I'm just telling you, that's my opinion. And I would like you to look into why it was, that location was turned down before, and before any decisions are made regarding it, this environmental study. I've just presented you with a bunch of evidence. There's thousands of more documents. There are several different court cases that were won, and I could present you with those documents as well as all the evidence that is proof that these cell towers are not good. So with that, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, good health and good fortune.
You too.
Thank you.
Can I see you? Can I see you? Please? Okay. No, I got it. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Michael Joyce, 12 Eagle Valley Road. As a taxpayer, I'm feeling a little bit distressed, because I believe the position that, not you, Melanie, you're trying to open our eyes and trying to make us solvent, and I appreciate that, is that you guys have voted on the position that, correct me, is $120,000 a year versus Pablo, who busted, we all know what, who wanted to be a working foreman for
65,
65,000.
or 70, yeah.
As opposed to 140?
Big difference, right?
Was it 140 or 120?
120.
120. I'm not a banker like Trustee DeSalvo, but I would think, using layman's mental capacity, that we would be making a saving with going with Pablo, especially how the last meeting that we had, I seem to recall that Trustee DeSalvo and Trustee Phillips held their vote on the point that if this gentleman passed and got his water license, they would agree to putting him into that position. That's what I heard. And maybe my ears need to be cleaned out, but tonight I'm hearing something totally different. This gentleman went away to prove himself, for himself, more importantly, for his family, but also to the community. And I'm going to say it, he's being let down. I don't know if it's because of favoritism, I don't know if it's because of parent buddies, I don't know because of other things. And there's a lot of problems in America, but there's also a lot of good things. I'm just in distress. I cannot see that people sitting up there will not be able to tell me that in the next 2 years, taxes are not going to be raised in Highland Falls to cover the outstanding debt that we've incurred. Rightly or wrongly, improvements have to be made. And this should have been kiddies set up decades ago. Not put off and not put off and not put off. Because sooner or later, we all have to pay the piper. Congratulations. You did us proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I've got one more question, Joe. Is this contract with Verizon a 25-year contract, and once the contract is signed, it couldn't be negotiated, anything? If there was any kind of health issues?
If you're talking about the DPW side,
Yes.
you would have to ask the town that.
Okay,
It's a contract with the town.
okay. But isn't
It is on the website, I believe.
Okay, so I don't go.
I don't know,
website?
actually, that might not be, because it's a town contract.
Yeah. So isn't it that the village has to actually approve it, even if the town makes a decision about it? Because it's
village,
within the
because-
village?
Because it's within the village, the town has requested the village to exempt Verizon from its zoning law under the Monroe balancing test, and that is what this board is contemplating.
Okay, because exempting something for Verizon, why would they need an exemption if there was no issue? Why would they need an exemption?
I would suggest you, well, they requested the exemption, and the village board,
Who is they?
the town board, has requested the exemption, and the village board is contemplating it, and I'm sure they'll be discussing it at the January 12th meeting.
Well, I certainly hope that you don't give them an exemption.
I understand, yes.
I'm Pablo Pulido, I'm the one that everybody been talking about, you know. I came and request permission and funds to go and get my license. Well, I did, and this is part of it, but this is what is going to get me my license. I'm very proud of myself, even so that people, they don't do what they say. It happens, I don't know, but thank you.
No, thank you. I'm glad that you- Yes,
I feel bad for you, Pablo. The village board did kind of make a implied agreement. And it seems as if you're backing out. And I just want to piggyback on his comments here, because about 3 board meetings ago, Trustee Howard was talking about how hard it is to find somebody to work in the Department of Public Works. And to overpay, it seems, a 6-figure salary for somebody who already is working for us, that money could be used better by giving the job over here and using that 50 grand to hire 2 more people, because you have plenty of work around the village that needs to be done. So these are financial decisions you're making, and you can't stand up here and say we're having a hard time hiring people when you overpay for some, and you're hiring and you're making resolutions to pay $15 an hour minimum wage to other people, part-timers, traffic people. That's their nature of their job. You approved the police contract, and what I don't know about it, and we don't have public comments on agenda items anymore. And if that was there, people might want to stand up and talk about it. Now, what is it with the dispatch service that was approved, the 3 parts? Dispatch service, are we locked in now on this contract for having a dispatch, in-house dispatch? Or can we get out of it and go to county 911? Can you answer?
I'm not here to debate it.
Okay, well, I'm just asking what the question. Are we locked in? Because last meeting, Mayor, you said you're gonna put a committee together. We're gonna investigate this, and we're gonna find out what the best solution. Go ahead.
I did say that I would put a committee together, and I will. The contracts have been approved. Locked in, I'm not gonna use the word locked in, because and please, sir, correct me, you're my attorney. Anything can be negotiated at any time. So something could be negotiated out or something could be negotiated in. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, and there are other legal issues depending on what the village
Okay,
decides to do
so,
would be a process.
so I'm not gonna use the word locked in, but I also, was told that it would be, to put it mildly, much easier, although it won't be easy, to negotiate, downsizing the dispatch office, but it would be, somewhat, better to negotiate opting out of the whole thing than versus one shift. So, the committee, I didn't have time to form a committee and still talk about it, although before these are signed tonight, I had to, but I still will do it.
That's, you're reneging on your public opinion,
Well,
on your
what?
public thing. You said you were gonna get a committee together, look at it, get the experts and look
And
at it, what's the best,
and I agree to
best do.
that, and I agree to that.
And,
But not before the contracts. That's not in my hands to do.
well,
That's being dictated to me.
well, you could've, voted for number one and number two, full-time, part-time, and held off on the dispatch, contract, but, you know, hey, you went ahead, you're making decisions, financial decisions for this community, for the taxpayers, and you gotta realize, there's an election coming up, and there's a lot of people who are really, moving out. Look at the for sale signs in this community, who are moving out because it's getting hard to afford it around here.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else?
Mayor and Board, I want to just thank Brian Howard, Mr. Wilberger, for selling the contract. It was really meant a lot. I know you saved by not going to arbitration, and we really do appreciate it. I wanted to thank Bobby, but she left already. We do take a lot of pride in having a safe community here, and we really stay vigilant and really like to watch out for our residents, and we mean that a lot to see such a safe community, so I thank you guys for that. Also, just want to let you know that the sergeant's exam was given in June, and Civil Service has said they'll be out in 4 to 6 months, so they should be out at any moment. And just want to wish everybody from the police department a safe and happy holidays, and know that we'll be out there. Also keep an eye on the village. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank.
Mr. Mayor, fellow board members, just a couple quick things, I'll make it fast. Sure. Concerning the cell tower,
People should state their names for the record.
Jim Remus.
Even though we know you very well.
So concerning the cell tower, sir, and the members, I would hope that you would take into consideration, because I know we were talking about another park behind the Little League field, where more, not only children, but the adults may be using that, and you know, any potential health hazards. So please look into that before you give an exemption, or just, you know, ensure that we're gonna have a safe area over there. I went through some of the comp plan, appreciate all the work that you guys did on that. There's some good suggestions, and then there's some other suggestions that I have concerns about. I definitely will go over them at that next meeting on January 12th. But what I did note in there, I seen a parking garage, new parking garage, moving the municipal offices to a mixed-use building, things like that. Do we have even a sketch of these? Not yet, okay. No, and that's fine. And then the other one was, I didn't see an analysis for potential water increase. And we all know that we are in
I think
a
it
water
has a
jet.
chart in there towards the back of it.
I'll double check, I might have missed it. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. Have a great
I
holiday.
think so. Thank you. Okay. Anything else from anyone? Yep, one more time.
I'm sorry,
That's
trustee Gary Phillips, we're still experiencing brown water.
Yeah, I've been up in your area, and I asked quite a bit of residents, and everybody's been saying their water's no issues, but we have to find out, because I talked to Jack and Pablo, and you're one of the first people coming off of the water towers up there, and you should have, you know, really the best water coming off first of all up there.
It's funny, I wonder, 3 weeks ago, was that a broken main repair
There's one on Old State Road, and there was just another one.
Just outside of Napa, right, on, just there?
That was the one by Napa, yeah. That wouldn't have any effect on your water up there on
Okay.
all the way up the hill. I mean, there's no way.
Okay.
But I mean, we have to, I have a couple more people, that I have to go and interview and ask them. But a couple of handful of people that I did interview, asked up there,
Yeah.
they didn't have any complaints about the water.
Mike,
So-
what I wanted to do for you, and we were both in an era where we couldn't talk, whatever. I need to have, Pablo, I want you to go up and put on his stoop or in his mailbox somewhere, unless he's home and you see him, a bottle, empty. I want you to put some water in there from your tap. And then, call the water department, they'll come pick it up.
You gotta know how to collect the sample. If you don't collect the right
Well, then you
way,
go up when he's home and you do it.
the sample is not going to be,
Well, if you leave directions.
Or if he's there, let him do it, right, John?
Or if
If you're-
Pablo's there, I trust Pablo. You know what I mean? I probably got detangle with him.
Okay, all right, thank you, that's what we'll do, let's test this water.
Thank you.
Gary?
Just the, Fog Meadows at 51%. So the water is, thank God we're getting rain. It looks like a bunch more rain coming this week. The plant's processing 540,000 gallons per day, and there have been 4 water leaks repaired to the month of November. Congratulations to Pablo, and yes, I was one of the board members that said that we'll wait until we get a license, but as of discussions that we had in executive session, Pablo, you are not off of my book to say that, you know, so that's all I can say to you about that. And then I will talk to Ms. Taylor about the difference, what we talked about prior, okay? So, but thank you. And Merry Christmas, and everybody be healthy and happy. Thank you.
Yeah, a couple quick things. I can't remember if we, at the beginning of the meeting, I think we did say good kudos to the O'Neill team, right? Yeah. For state champions. Echo the mayor's comments in regards to the folks that helped out down at Memorial Park and the decorations in the community. Just a couple of minor comments, because it is the Christmas season, so I'm trying to be extra, loving and caring and sharing joy. Homes still sell in this town right now at a record rate. Homes that go for sale for people that, God forbid, have passed away, or they're moving with their families and retiring, are selling for well over asking. Or they're selling for well over maybe what the appraised value comes in.
To military families.
It's not all military families. I'm telling you, it's not all military families. So we just need to be careful on some of the comments we said, and I appreciate the attorney's comments, because even though it is the season of giving, we should be careful on the accusations that we make. And, I'm gonna try to do better, because I try not to do that. And I think we need to try to do that as a board. And yes, there is an election coming up. I'm sure there's gonna be quite a many folks running, and that's good. It's good to have options. It's good to have choices. And that's good for the community. So I hope we can just, as we move into the holiday season, enjoy it with our families, and as we come out of the holiday season, we don't forget about what we just celebrated, and try to be a little kind, and as we move into election season, not bash each other in the skull. But either way, whatever it is, it's a healthy process, and we'll all get through it. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, God bless.
I go. Oh, I go, okay. I want to thank the volunteers, the Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, the Firehouse, the Center, Holy Innocents. There were lots of things going on Saturday. It's too bad it rained. Santa Claus did a great job, and I forget the woman's name, but she had a dog, and it's called a comfort dog. And they said little ones there who were afraid to go up to Santa, and the dog would go over and lick the hand or just nuzzle them, and they would all go up to Santa. But it was really great, and it was great to see little kids out again, because to me that's what Christmas is about. because when they become adolescents, it's a different world, very different. I want to thank the DPW for the work they did at Memorial Park, all the volunteers. Vision came out with the neighbors, lawn and landscaping. We got the Lady Cliff Park, and then all the pots on the Methodist Church and on the Holy Innocents were done, so it looks good. Memorial Park looks good, they all look good. Next Sunday, the Lady Cliff Park will be open from 3 to 5, and they're going to be decorating a tree, and kids are going to be doing crafts. The center was also very well involved with the holiday. We're also working with senior citizens. There's an enhanced license that they have to get, whether they want to or not. So we brought down someone from Department of Transportation, and they went through the process that they can do that. We're also bringing Medicare and Medicaid speakers to help vets and senior citizens understand, you turn 65, this is how you have to do it, this is the process you use. So we're doing a lot of work with the senior citizens. Oh, yes. Friday, on the 9th, we're going to be opening up at the Holy Innocents Bingo. And that will be at 6:15. We'll open up the doors, and then we'll do bingo for senior citizens and anyone who wants to be there. So that's what we'll be doing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay, Gary, I'm glad you made that comment about Pablo. I'm going to make one last pitch about Pablo. Okay, I'm going to congratulate him again for passing the grade 2A water license.
Thank you.
Okay. That's a hard test to pass for first-time takers. Okay, and a month ago, I made a motion to hire you as a DPW supervisor, a working supervisor. We have that position open. We interviewed 3 people for that position. They've been vetted by civil service. And 2 people on this board abstained pending you getting your water license. So I'm going to put it up again for a vote, just to see what people's records will be, okay? So I make a motion to hire Mr. Polito as a new DPW supervisor.
I'm not sure that, I think that's already been asked and answered. I don't think you can now, there is no position.
The position is open. It hasn't been closed. And the last board meeting, 2 people abstained pending him getting his water license. So I'd like to make a motion to hire Mr. Polito as a new DPW supervisor now that he has his water license.
I would suggest no one second that motion. I think it's an inappropriate motion, that decision has been made for the time being.
For the time being.
That decision
Yes, for the
hasn't been
time
made.
being.
It's an open position. We interviewed.
Did we do this earlier?
You did, I mean, you
We do it on budget time, talk about the budget.
I mean, you had a long discussion in executive session that I don't think should be brought up in open meeting.
I want to see what the record is. The motion is to hire him. 1 month ago, 2 people abstained pending you getting your water license. You have your water license.
In the absence of a second, there is no motion.
I am totally not liking this. It's okay. There's no second. I know.
That's the board. Merry Christmas, Pablo. Congratulations, okay, for getting your water license, okay? A month ago, no, I am not finished, I'm sorry, okay. I presented to the board, actually by email and also a couple of board meetings ago, the company Green Spot JC LLC, okay, they would like to put an EV charger that is a pay-as-you-go, because currently our own EV chargers, it's free, but it's costing the village About $1,000, I think, is what Linnea was looking at in electricity, plus the maintenance cost for, which is all village. This company, I sent you all the contract, is going to put their own chargers in there. It's gonna be paid, and they will do the maintenance, they will do the cost of putting it up there, and they'll even give, on a quarterly basis, the village 10% of their profits. So do I have the board agree,
Yes.
to agree
Excuse me.
to sign this contract?
You have a contract in
Yeah.
place now.
Right.
And so I would need to just review the contract you have in place now to see how you can, or if you can, and it was just renewed. So I think it's a 2-year contract. I think it's still in term. So I am not, it sounds great, but maybe not right now. I just have to look at the contract that.
With the
yeah,
current
yes,
charger?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just
Well,
need to review that
We
contract.
can leave those there and put this to new ones,
I have to look at the terms of the contract.
With
in
the,
terms of the other contract.
You may very well be able to do that, or on the other hand, it might be exclusive. I don't
Okay.
think it is, but let me review
Okay.
it. And I will do that before the next
and,
meeting.
and just for knowledge, we did order the component to put on the electric charger where you have to pay.
You pay now.
No, not now. The component hasn't been put on the chargers for 2 reasons. There was a piece that, when they hooked it up, wasn't working right, and it's taken forever to get that piece for the larger component. And then the second thing is the village is gonna have to determine how much per kilowatt or hour, and I have some folks that can figure that out. I think we've taken the figures from the poll over the last 2 years, and you're right, it's up around $1,000. It was interesting, because the first month, for whatever reason, it was $1.82. But as people knew it was there, the more people were using it. And then the other interesting thing, and then I'll stop, I have the whole list of every month. During the height of COVID, you see where it dropped, because there was less people coming to work. So it was a little interesting to me. Anyway, we're looking at that. That will be you will be charged to use the charger. But I understand what you're saying. Are they exclusive? If not, I would like to do this.
Yeah, and I'll certainly look at that contract.
Can we
Okay.
okay it pending your review and?
I would prefer if you just let me review it, and I
Okay.
can
It
come
won't
back
take
with a
long.
full
It won't
report,
take
and
long.
then you can decide.
Let's have it at the next meeting. Because we're going to be skipping some weeks because of the holidays. Let's have it on the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so an update on the Connect program. The Connect program is an after-school program that West Point Association of Graduates actually is spending quite a bit of money on. And they have now 165 enrolled students. It's an after-school program. They have hired 11 teachers. The topics are robotics. The cadets actually come out and teach the kids robotics, engineering, art, guitar lessons. This lesson that's called Girls Who Game, and it's particularly for girls to show them how to do computer science and computer coding. So it's really just fantastic. They're still looking for more part-time teachers and instructors.
That's great.
If you are interested, just connect with me and I'll connect you to the director of the program. The Center of Highland Falls, I wanted to thank them because they had that Santa for kids in the library, and more than 100 kids turned out with free goodies and photo op with Santa. And the center also had vendors in the center, so that was also very successful. The one thing that I did attend that the center sponsored is the Orange County Office for the Aging. They had it at the senior center, and it was really highly successful. Somebody from Orange County came, talked about what they offer for senior citizens. Transportation is an issue. They even have this program where if you're a low-income senior citizen and you just need money for heating, they will actually help you apply so that you can get a one-time emergency, help with your heating bill, like oil. They also help you with your Medicare savings plan so that your Part B premiums can be reimbursed and that you wouldn't have to pay for it. And they'll help you apply for all these assistance. So that's from Orange County Office of the Aging. Again, Tiffany Danko is her name. If you need to get in touch with her because you need help with these programs that I just mentioned, get in touch with me and I will connect you to her. The Chamber of Commerce. So one thing that I would like to thank, thank Charlene Yell and also Kevin Pozo. This December 11, they're gonna have breakfast with Santa on Sunday, December 11 at the Park Restaurant. And the seats are limited. There's a 9 a.m. and an 11 a.m. breakfast. Tickets are $20 for adults and $10 for kids. So if you don't know Charlene's email address, get in touch with me. I'll connect you with her and Kevin Pozo, and we can reserve you a spot. They also have this Christmas tree lighting that's also on December 11 because it was moved. It was supposed to have been this Saturday, but they're moving it on Sunday. So it's going to be a full day by the Chamber and Pozo team. The building department, I don't have anything to report this month because they're going to come up with it actually next week, but we're not going to have a meeting. So I'll reserve it for the January meeting. One last comment about what Bobby Fallon had said, that we are a safe community, number one, okay? Everywhere you go, even when I first came here in 2017, Highland Falls is a safe community. It's a safe community because of the cooperation among the people who are here, okay? The residents, community members, okay? And I'm not negating the police department. We need a police department. But to say that we're a safe community because of the police, I think is an overstatement. If I would remind the citizens, when I came here in 2017, it was in disarray, okay? There were all kinds of signs about the police chief, everybody's fighting with each other. Before he retired, he already had another full-time position elsewhere. You didn't even see him here. And then we had one whole year that we didn't have a police chief. Now we do. We have a new police chief. She's been here for less than 6 months. And the first thing she did, and she's had a lot of accomplishments in 4 months, okay? But she is getting hit from all sides. But the first thing she did, which did not exist, is to actually create a command structure. There was no command structure. Okay, she gave me a list of all the things she has just accomplished because none of this existed before she came in. She's holding people accountable for their timesheets. She's telling people to go out on patrol instead of hanging around the department. She's making them wear uniforms. Okay, she's making them show up for their shifts. She's hiring through her own connections. Okay, other police officers from outside of here to help us with the shifts. So to say that we are safe, number one, because our police department is the way they are, it's not quite the truth. It needs a lot of work. We have the new chief in there, and I'm glad she's there.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, if there's nothing further, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Brian, is there a second?
Second.
Second by the birthday boy. All in
Yes, happy
favor?
birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday.
All in favor, aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you, thank you, thank you.